Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers beat reporter offers grim outlook for rookie Wr Roman Wilson. The Pittsburgh Steelers 2024 draft class has dealt with a lot of injuries. First-round offensive tackle Troy Fautanu, third-round wide receiver Roman Wilson, sixth-round defensive lineman Logan Lee and sixth-round safety Ryan Watts are all currently on the injured reserve, leaving just 3 healthy rookies that were drafted in April. While Fautanu and Watts have already been ruled out for the remainder of the year, the statuses of Wilson and Lee are less clear. The latter has been missing in action since the start of the regular season with a calf injury, while Wilson was just placed on IR with a hamstring issue. And according to the opinion of Pittsburgh Post-Gazette beat reporter Ray Fittipaldo, Steelers fans may have just seen the last of Wilson in 2024. "I have a feeling we won't be seeing Roman Wilson the rest of the season," Fittipaldo responded during a fan Q&A on October 29. He has to miss at least 3 more weeks, after being placed on the injured reserve. "Unless there is an injury and they need a body, I don't see him returning to the 53-man roster." In other words, Fittipaldo is predicting that the Steelers will basically just redshirt Wilson the rest of the way, which isn't far off from what they were already doing when he was healthy. According to Pro Football Focus, Wilson has been on the field for a grand total of 5 offensive snaps in 2024. On 4 of them, he was used as a run blocker with 1 lone snap in a passing situation. That brief usage came in Week 6. By all accounts, Wilson looked like one of the Steelers' best pass catchers during the padless portion of training camp. Granted, padless practices don't always translate at the NFL level, but it's hard to say if Wilson's game does, considering he's barely played since that point. Members of the Steelers beat have praised Wilson's speed and route-running ability in practice at times, but the youngster has yet to prove himself to the coaching staff in the grittier areas. Whether that's as a run blocker, on special teams, or something else altogether. That, coupled with injuries, and Wilson's highly anticipated breakout rookie campaign never even got off the ground. Instead, it's Calvin Austin III, Van Jefferson and veteran Scotty Miller who have benefited from a shallow Steelers WR core. Barring a potential trade acquisition ahead of the November 5 deadline, that could be the case the rest of the way. Within the fan Q&A, Fittipaldo also fielded a question on former first-round offensive tackle Broderick Jones. "Broderick Jones? Is there any hope?" the Steelers supporter asked. "He just makes contact and then disengages without finishing his blocks so often. What is going on with him? He's not having a good year, but there are no other options at this point with Troy Fautanu on IR," Fittipaldo replied, hinting that Jones will likely be the starting right tackle for the foreseeable future. "They're not going to bench a first-round pick for someone like Dylan Cook, who appears set to return from the injured reserve," he continued. "Jones needs to work through his issues because Fautanu isn't coming back anytime soon. The Steelers' offense still has its fair share of problems, even with Russell Wilson unlocking the passing game a bit. Jones, unfortunately, is one of them." As Fittipaldo alluded, the hope is that he'll improve and develop. After all, Pittsburgh spent a first-round selection on him in 2023. Najee Harris has less than 10% chance of returning, insider believes. With the way Najee Harris is playing in the 4th and final season of his rookie contract, it would be a shame if the Pittsburgh Steelers let him walk in free agency, right? One team insider doesn't believe an extension is in the cards for Harris and the Steelers, even as he finally evolves into the bell cow running back that they drafted him to be. Mark Kaboly gave it a 7% chance of happening via 93.7 The Fan's Joe Starkey show this morning. "I just don't think they would be interested enough, and there's a two-way street. Is he interested enough to come back after not getting the kind of money or not picking up his option either?" Kaboly said. "He's earned every right in the world to go out there and see what free agency offers him. And if he gets anything like the offseason this past year, it's gonna be a decent amount of money. The Steelers declined Harris's fifth-year option, which would have fully guaranteed his 2024 salary at the time of signing, as well as a fully guaranteed 2025 season for $6,790,000. Our Dave Bryan drew up a mock contract for Harris over the summer and came up with a number of $16.2 million through 2025 on a 2-year extension signed before the 2024 season. Market prices tend to go up, not down, and Harris is starting to have a career season. His price tag could go up considerably. Through 8 games, Harris has 592 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, with a career-high yards per carry of 4.4. He is on pace for 1,258 rushing yards to top his previous high. The Steelers aren't gonna pay that much. They still gotta pay Jaylen Warren, Kabylie said. He's a restricted free agent next year, unless Najee really wants to come back and they give him a competitive offer. I don't see him coming back, and I don't see them giving him an offer before free agency starts where he doesn't go out and realize that, there's other teams out here that might want to pay me. They figure that Jaylen Warren could probably do the same type of thing with less money. Warren was likely a big part of the reason Harris's fifth-year option wasn't picked up, and it is possible he will factor into the Steelers opting to move on rather than make a competitive offer in free agency. Warren will likely receive a second-round RFA tender valued at $5,217,000 for the 2025 season, per over the cap. If they give Harris a market value contract, that would be a decent chunk of money tied up in the running back room. That isn't exactly in fashion these days for teams and their roster construction. All that being said, it would be a real shame to move on from Harris just as he hits his stride. He is very likely to have over 1,000 rushing yards in 4 straight seasons, and he has yet to miss a game in his career. The Steelers' offensive line is on an upward trajectory, too. Harris and the O-line could achieve some big things together if the numbers work. Ex-Steelers QB Ben Roethlisberger's weird take on possible Kupp trade. The Pittsburgh Steelers sit at the top of the AFC North heading into Week 9, despite not playing a divisional opponent yet. Pittsburgh has had a strong start to the season through their stout defensive play and highly productive offense in recent weeks. However, many believe that the team needs to target a new starting receiver, as George Pickens is the only one with over 300 receiving yards through 8 games. One receiver who has come up consistently in trade rumors is Los Angeles Rams superstar Cooper Kupp. The Rams have struggled so far this season, and Kupp is one of the highest-paid receivers in the league, so it may make sense for them to send him to a contender. While the Steelers have been named as a potential suitor in those trade rumors, one team legend doesn't see a deal happening. On his Footballin' podcast, quarterback Ben Roethlisberger explained why he doesn't expect Kupp to end up in Pittsburgh. "It would be a dream come true, but I don't think it's realistic," Roethlisberger said. "You're not gonna bring a number 1 into this situation. I don't think Cooper Kupp would want to come here. He's only played 3 games, but through 3 games, 23 catches, almost 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns. George Pickens has got 35 catches, he's only 12 behind. He doesn't want to come here and catch the ball 3 or 4 times a game." And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Cooper Kupp? Leave your opinion in the comments.